All right, welcome back, 7th grade. We are working on the 7th grade program, and now for today's lesson, we are going to be working on the area of a circle. So as always, let's click our 7th grade mission, give it a click, go ahead and scroll all the way down where you see geometry. This is where we're working on. We completed radius and diameter, we completed circumference of a circle, and now we are working on area of a circle. So give that a click, brings it right to the top, and let's get started today. So this question says, find the area of a circle with a circumference of 37.68 units. So this is a little bit more complex than what you're used to when you completed 6th grade. Because now you're not just given a basic formula, you actually have to find the parts of your formula when given circumference. So let's start off with a picture. Let's go ahead and draw a circle so we can talk about what area is. So as of the last couple lessons, we have been working on the parts of a circle and then finding circumference. And circumference is the measurement all the way around the outside of a circle. So that word, let's write that word again as a review, circumference. Okay, and just as a review, circumference has most of the word circle in it, so it tells you that it's going to be about a circle. We said that the prefix circ means around. Okay, so the circumference is the measurement around a circle, and that's where we get the perimeter of a circle, is another way of describing that. We can call it the perimeter. So we've been finding that, and we know that the formula for finding circumference is equal to pi times diameter. Okay, we also talked about that a diameter is when you take a point from one part of the circle, go all the way through the circle, cutting through the midpoint and touching the opposite end. So that would be a diameter. Okay, so now though we're moving on to area. Okay, now area is not just the outside, it's actually all of the space inside your circle as well. So it's not just the outside, it's the inside as well. So if I took my marker here and I started shading, I would shade everything on the inside of this circle, all the space without going on the outside, and that would tell me the area. Okay, so I'm filling in all of the area. We know area is kind of like space, right? So the amount of space inside of that circle, two-dimensional space, because it's not volume. Volume is three-dimensional space. Okay, this is 2D, not 3D. Okay, so that would be the area, is all that space. And if I were to color it all in, it would look something like that, right? Now, in a circle, there is a formula for finding the area. The area of a circle, I should get off the marker, let's get on pen here. The area of a circle is equal to pi multiplied times the radius squared, okay? So as a basic example, if this was your radius, and let's say we have a 2 as your radius, to do more of a 6th grade problem, we would say the area is equal to pi times the radius squared, 2 multiplied by itself. Remember, 2 squared is the same thing as 2 times 2. Just as like 3 squared would be 3 times 3. 4 squared is 4 times 4, and so on and so forth, right? So 2 squared is the same thing as 4, so your area would be pi times 4, and if you opened up your trusty rusty calculator, and pi times 4 would give you an area of 12.5663, or about 12.6, right? Let's do this again with a little bit similar problem. Let's go back and do a few of these 6th grade type problems. Okay, so let's say let's go over here, get my eraser. Let's say my radius was 8. If my radius was 8, then I know Let's get that. Let's go with a blue. Or let's do red again. Let's say the radius was 8. Trying to get this 8. So if the radius was 8 and our formula is pi times radius squared, well, radius squared would be 8 squared. Okay? And we know 8 squared is the same thing as 8 times 8, which is 64. Okay? So we're going to do pi times 64 this time in our calculator. So pi times 64. Let's pull up that calculator. So pi multiplied times 64 would give you an area of 201.06. Okay, so that was the basic circumference that you did, or area rather, that you did in 6th grade. Let's look at this 7th grade program and get rid of all this, okay? So, back to Khan Academy. It says, find the area of a circle with a circumference of 37.68. So, we have, let's pick a different color this time. We have circumference of 37.68, and we have to find the area. And we know the area is pi times radius squared. Well, what's the problem here? I don't have the radius. I have the circumference. So I have to somehow find the radius so I can multiply it by itself and then multiply it times pi. I'll take pi times radius squared. But all I have is this number here, the circumference. So remember, circumference, let's use our formula. Circumference equals pi times the diameter. So if I can figure out the diameter, I can find the radius, because I know if I take a diameter and I divide it by 2 in half, I'm going to get my radius. So let's use this number, 37.68. Let's put it right here. Let's substitute. We know C, circumference, is 37.68. So 37.68 equals pi times the diameter. And remember, if I want to find this diameter, all I have to do is divide out pi on both sides. That'll get my diameter by itself. Okay, so let's divide both sides by pi. Divide this by pi. This pi divided by pi we know is 1. That's why we're going to get 1d, or just d. And then using our trusty rusty calculator, let's take 37.68. 37.68. Let's divide it by pi. Divide it by pi. And we're going to get 11.99. 11.99. But that's not what I want, right? I wanted to find the radius. So if I take my 11.99 and I divide it by 2, that'll give me the radius. So guess what? I'm just going to keep my calculator up here. I'm just going to put in divided by 2, and it's going to give me 5.99. 5.9969. I'm going to put those numbers down. So my radius is 5.9969. It's almost 6, isn't it? So area equals pi times the radius squared, and I know my radius now. It's 5.9969. So 5.9969 squared times pi. Let's pull up the calculator and let's do this, okay? It's kind of cool because we're just doing a lot of this in the calculator, right? So if I do 5.9969, I go over here and hit this button. This means this to square it. It's going to multiply it by itself, squared. And then I multiply that by pi, right? Times pi. I'm going to get 112.98. Okay? So, pi times this gives me 112.98. So, let's go plug that into Khan Academy and see how we did. If I put in 112.98, it should be correct. Let's go ahead and click enter, and it shows that we are in fact correct.